look, it's Matches Malone. You're watching Beyond the Trailers review of Runner Runner.
Do you have any idea how crazy this is? Richie first.
This is the house.
Why the house?
The house always wins, which is why we don't have to cheat people.
But the math is right. Am I missing something?
No. Programmers decided to write a backdoor into the code. You saw it. Came to me. This is a little something for your troubles. Plus, of course, you like sticking around and taking a shot at a real business. Guaranteed 7 figures in the first 18 months. Excited to see you spend it.
That's right, Matches Malone, Batman's top undercover alias in the Gotham criminal underworld. A fast-talking goofball that nobody would ever suspect of being Batman. And that's what Ben Affleck is doing here, right? Starring in a movie so lowbrow after a Best Picture win for Argo no less, that when he dominates as Batman in 2015, we'll never see it coming. At least let's hope that's what he's doing. But hey, you never know, Runner Runner could actually be a good or at least okay movie. It's produced by none other than Leonardo DiCaprio, who got off to a good start behind the camera with Orphan, but then faltered with Red Riding Hood. But this should be a solid year for him as a producer, as he has not just Runner Runner lined up, but also the Christian Bale Casey Affleck star Out of the Furnace and his own Wolf of Wall Street, if it's not delayed until 2014. And Runner Runner is directed by Brad Furman, who helmed The Lincoln Lawyer, where another Hollywood joke took his first steps towards legitimacy. And Runner Runner is written by screenwriting duo Brian Kovelman and David Levian, the guys behind Rounders, Ocean's 13, and Soderbergh's The Girlfriend Experience. Furthermore, Runner Runner co-stars Justin Timberlake, yet another actor looking to be taken seriously, and Anthony Mackie, who will be stepping into spandex himself in 2014. But while Timberlake and Mackie are still looking to prove themselves, wasn't Affleck already supposed to have joined McConaughey on the other side? Well, he had until the Batman casting was announced, and Affleck was made painfully aware that while audiences might respect him as a director, they still don't trust him as an actor. Will Runner Runner help him build that trust or set him back even further? So you know when Disney makes an animated movie and some other animation company rushes out like a much cheaper knockoff version that you see like in the supermarket? Well, Runner Runner is that to The Counselor. Clearly, I think The Counselor is going to be a much more highbrow, artistic, higher quality film all around. However, all that said, despite all of Runner Runner's mediocrity, I have to say, Ben Affleck did a really nice job. I was really impressed. I mean, his first few scenes, I got really nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I in for? But then, as the movie progressed, he really, came into his own. So much so that if I could see myself as a Warner Brothers executive watching this movie and going, okay, I'll give you a run at Batman. I think you can maybe pull it off. And there were interesting sides here, both to a potential Bruce Wayne character that you can see him maybe building, and also to Batman. I mean, he handled some really rough, no-nonsense scenes quite well, to the point where, as I said, you can see him his Batman starting to take shape. So if you're at all worried about Ben Affleck's Batman, and if it's really bothering you, go see Runner Runner and you'll feel a little better. Otherwise, though, I can't really come up with a good reason to check out this film. As I said, it's pretty mediocre. Justin Timberlake's performance, there's nothing really wrong with it, but there's nothing really good about it either. I think he's not a particularly strong actor. But Anthony Mackie did come across pretty well. However, he was chewing the scenery so much he came off as a young Samuel L. Jackson. But he did it well, and Samuel L. Jackson continues to work because he's carved out a niche for himself in the industry. But maybe he'll have company there soon from Anthony Mackie. But I liked what Anthony Mackie did with his role. And it was written to be very hammy, and I think potentially maybe for an older actor. But he made it work. You didn't think like, why is this younger agent acting like a grandpa? But so I liked what he did as well, and it was nice to see Anthony Mackie continuing to do a nice job. The other big problem with the film is I always felt like I was on the outside looking in. It never really brought me into the world of gambling. I mean, of course, obviously, I saw what was going on at Ben Affleck's inner circle when he takes Justin Timberlake's character under his wing. But in terms of gambling, I mean, Justin Timberlake's character tried to describe how it worked throughout the movie in voiceover, but I think without visual aid and a better explanation, I never really understood what was going on. I mean, I'm not a gambler, so I can't tell you if it's accurate even what was being said. And also, potentially, if you are a gambler, you might be able to follow along a little better. But if you're not a gambler, be prepared to just really kind of not understand that aspect of Ben Affleck's character's business. But I think the problem of online poker is a real genuine problem. It's always nice to see a movie when something's ripped from the headlines. But as I said, unless you want to check out Ben Affleck's actually a very good performance, really surprising. I mean, it is noteworthy. So if you want to see that, by all means, you can sit through Runner Runner. It's not going to be like painful to watch. But if you're not interested in seeing what Ben Affleck can do, you can just skip this altogether. All right, so that's my review of Runner Runner. If you've seen it, leave your thoughts in the comments down below, and check out these other videos right now.